Hey gang, it's Nicole Wilson here of Nicole Wilson Art. I wanted to take an opportunity here today to answer some questions that have come through my website on my Ask Me Anything button, which is kind of a fun little thing that I installed so that my viewers or my fans or my patrons or whoever stumbles upon my website can ask me some questions about my work. And I thought it would be a great opportunity to practice with my trusty little video recorder thingy here and answer some questions. So I hope it'll be interesting for you. And if you have any other questions, just go to my website, www.nicole-wilson.com, and I will be sure to get back to you. So, first up, okay, who are you and what do you do? Okay, well, obviously, my name is Nicole Wilson, and what do I do? I'm a painter, I'm an artist of many different mediums. I also act and I also write. If you're coming to this particular website, you're here for my painting. So, what do? I do a lot of figurative paintings, which basically means that I like to paint figures in the form of people usually, and sometimes animals. I have recently done a lot more kind of pop art, influenced by, I guess, some different artists like Andy Warhol and the like. Um, I guess ironically enough, I got into it because I was very interested in street art, and I was doing a documentary with a few friends on the street art scene in New York City and Los Angeles. And I was working as the art director on that. Um, and I really just loved the color palette. I loved the bright colors. I'd always use bright colors in my work, but I loved the kind of neons and stuff like that. So that is what I've been doing recently. I have like a wide variety of work. I feel like as an artist, you're always evolving, you're always changing. So I feel like I've tried out a great deal of many styles over the years because I've become intrigued with one thing or another, and just wanted to try out for myself. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to the next question I have here. Let's see what we have. Okay. Let's stick with this one. How has your practice changed over time? I guess that means how has my process changed over time? Well, when I was first starting out, I was in college and I didn't really know much of anything about painting. I actually was just bored one day. I was in the theater department. I was a theater major. I was in between productions, and I was upstate in upstate New York where it's absolutely freezing. And I decided that I wanted to try painting, and it was just very instinctual for me. I kind of always knew, because I could draw very well, that painting would probably be just come naturally to me. So I went and got a bunch of art supplies, and I went back to my apartment that I was sharing with my boyfriend at the time, and I just started painting. I didn't really have any idea about how to prepare a palette or how to use a paint thinner or just really anything. So I used what I had. I even used Q-tips. I used my hands. I used my fingers, and surprisingly, but not surprisingly to me, I guess, it turned out pretty amazing. I wound up forming a relationship with the head of the art department at the university, and they were just really psyched and thought I should be an art major, even though I was a theater major. So I was able to use studio space at night and in the evenings, and I actually had a show there, even though I wasn't even enrolled in any art classes. But that's sort of how I started. It was just kind of very instinctual, and just wanting to say something, just having this physical imperative in my spirit to kind of say something visually And yeah, that's how it started. Now it's a different thing. I'm much more certain of my abilities and much more confident in my ability to do certain things. So if I have a project or I have a commission, I just break it down into steps. Usually I like to get a visual, aid in some form, like doing a sketch or photoshopping an image so that I have like a clear idea of, where I want to go. Obviously, things change a great deal once I start, but at the beginning, I like to sort of have something a little more concrete. And from there, I just usually just pick my materials. If I'm going to do it on paper, if I'm going to do it, with spray paint, if I'm going to do it with acrylic, oil, I just try to pick out things, materials that I think would work best for the project. So I guess the difference between when I started out and now is that, confidence and I guess also knowledge, a depth of knowledge of the materials that you can use as an artist and, having, versatility within those various, you know, uh, materials. Okay, so I'm going to skip on down to see if there's anything else. I'm going to do a couple more questions, but I don't want to bore you totally. So, what's your scariest experience? Okay, I guess that's a good question to ask. What is my scariest experience as an artist? I guess the first time I was really kind of scared as an artist was when I somehow talked my way into doing storyboards for a feature film. And I had a very good friend who was a producer, and he basically talked me up to the director and the director of photography, the DP, and said, she's an amazing storyboard artist, and she can do this and she can do that. And it was for a fairly well-known director. And it was kind of funny because I had never done storyboards in my life. So I went there the first day just having Googled basic storyboarding and, had a 4 or 5 hour meeting where myself, the DP, and the director went through all the scenes and the scene breakdowns, and I was just taking so many notes and had no idea what I was doing. So that was kind of terrifying. I wound up going on Amazon and buying a book and, literally locking myself in my apartment for 2.5 weeks, finishing up all the storyboards for this project and, praying to God that, nobody found me out as the fraudulent storyboard artist. But everything turned out great, and I wound up booking many other storyboard gigs after that. So it turned out okay. All right, so let's see. Mm. All right, I've so many questions here. I'm just kind of going through and seeing which one I think you guys would be interested in. Let's see. What's the best piece of advice you could give to a young artist? Okay, I think that one's a pretty good question. Maybe you are a young artist, or maybe you're just interested in my work, but I was once a young artist. I'm pretty young still, but I think, as a young artist, it's a lot of trial and error, and I found that to be true. And I recently read this great article online, and it was talking about how, when you're young and you're just starting out in the arts, a lot of the work you do is not very good. However, your taste is good. So you have good taste. And I guess basically the message of the article is just to continue to make work, to continue to try new things, and over time, your skill set will match your taste. So just basically keep at it, keep doing it. What else would I say? I would say that, it takes a very specific kind of personality to stay in the arts. When I was first starting out, there was lots and lots of people from my university and, various, arts classes and stuff that I'd taken, who were like gung ho about the arts and everybody wanted to do it and, was doing tons of, whether it be theater or music or, painting, doing art shows and stuff like that. And, a few years later, everybody was, leaving the arts to go, into another profession. And so that was more stable, obviously, and more, reliable in so many ways. And, people change and what you want out of life changes. So, don't beat yourself up over it. But I guess what I'd say is that, when you're young is the time to kind of figure out if this is the right thing for you. And to really kind of explore that by, going out there, having as many experiences as possible, taking in as much stimulus, finding, seeking out mentors, seeking out classes, just to get, because this, you'll never get this time back. You'll never get the time back. This free time, many of you will go and have families, get married, and, have other obligations with your time. So I would say just really rejoice in that free time that you're going to have and, make the most of it. Figure out if this is what you're passionate about and if this is how you want to spend your life, because it's challenging, for sure. And you really have to have a thick skin and you have to be very resilient because there's a lot of rejection and there's a lot of, periods of time where you're not really working, where you're alone in your studio or, you're at, doing that kind of work behind the scenes and you're not getting any recognition. So I would say just, yeah, make the most of your young youth and go after it. And, I wish you all the best, and I will talk to y'all soon.